Hey, hello, and welcome to Plugin Along, a stream dedicated to LOTRO plugins. Last time on Plugin Along, we looked at what it takes to migrate .plugin data files that LOTRO plugins use to store data for detracker and rich plugins for when you're changing a character name or when you are changing servers, or both, which might be relevant this week for some people. Today we're going to return to TitanBar. My goals for TitanBar plugin revamp are going a little bit slowly. So I'm going to add some currencies that people have been asking about and I've been looking for using the old, kind of annoying, but faster method. We're going to be looking at ancient script, maybe delving writs, tokens of heroism, heroes marks, whatever else we have time for. As always, feel free to jump into chat with your thoughts and questions. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and get our UI up here. Okay, so currently I have a TitanBar on here, but this is the TitanBar that I've been working on for a while. So it is the wrong version, the wrong place to start this. So what can we do? Well, let's come on in to, let's share my desktop first of all. And come on in to a backup folder I have. So we're going to go ahead and look at the plugins directory in Lord of the Rings Online and the place where I shove all my plugins right before I start streaming so they're not in the way. We're just going to go ahead and move that out of the way. But first we're going to close our repo. We're going to close our Visual Studio Code, and then we're going to move this out of the way. So now my plugins directory is empty. So if I hit this little green arrow here that tells Lord of the Rings Online to refresh, we see no plugins. That means that we're able to start fresh with what everyone else is working with so we don't make any mistakes. What is everyone else working with? This is the TitanBar Duriel version 1.35.3. I'm going to go ahead and download this, and I'm going to go ahead and download my patch, actually, I probably don't need it because that is for 35.24. So we're going to keep in mind that this patch was for reputation losses and for badges of taste and dishonor. Great. Let's go ahead and extract out this TitanBar. So I'm going to hit extract. Great. And that gives us a Havna plugins folder. So we want to go ahead and pull this in to my Documents Lord of the Rings Online plugins folder. And this has all the stuff we need. Great. Move that on over. So in here we can refresh. We see 1.35.3. That's the version we were expecting. We're going to go ahead and load. Great. Now, we're going to have a problem because that 5-second delay in loading there is going to get annoying maybe, but we'll come back to that. Okay, so what do we need? Not the backpack, not the equipment, not the durability, and my location, no. Time, no. Let's go ahead and enable the wallet so I can disable money. So that's don't show. Great. So we're just going to do currencies. Oh, that is wallet. Great. So what do we have available to us? We do have badges of taste and dishonor. Awesome. So what we want to go ahead and add is, assuming it's not on this list, do we see ancient script? Oh, we do see ancient script. Awesome. Don't need to worry about that. Delving writs, I believe it's called. Delving writs. Okay, would love to be able to have that. Tokens of heroism and heroes marks. We want those to show up. And let's see, midsummer. Midsummer tokens are here. What are the festivals? LOTRO 25 schedule. Okay. So just trying to refresh my memory so I don't miss anything. Festival. Spring. Really? Okay, spring leaf is in there. Great. Midsummer. Midsummer's in there. Let's see, anniversary. Anniversary tokens are in there. Harvest math after midsummer. I assume that's the fall festival token and or the farmer's fair token. What a great question. Fall festival tokens, farmer's fair tokens. Well, those are both in there either way. And Yule token. Okay, I think all the major festivals are represented there. Great. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through the steps of adding things, and we can start with the delving writs. Great. And ideally, this method isn't great, which is something I have a goal of replacing. But it does have the benefit of being pretty fast and low impact. It doesn't require changing all of the files ever. It's just a few files. People can patch it in and not disrupt things too much. And people have been wanting this. I've been wanting this for quite a while. So we're going to work through this process. Let's go ahead and pull up the code. So we're going to go ahead and let's see, anything else TitanBar related? I don't think the calc stat is going to matter. That one's too old. I should unpublish that or something. There's a fix for motes and embers in German client. That's interesting, but we're not touching motes and embers right now. Okay, cool. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that, and we're going to open up our Visual Studio Code for Havna plugins. Fantastic. Okay, so one of the things TitanBar has is a maintenance file. So it spells out what we need to do to add a new token. So let's go ahead and walk through the steps, specifically to add a new currency. And that is everything in here. And this is the, nonsense is such a strong word, but this is the reason why I was seeking to revamp it a little bit. Okay, so we're going to need the currency names. So let's go ahead and pull that up. Well, that's not what I meant to hit. Okay. So, and then items. Let's go ahead and do a quick little search here. Delving writ. But I don't want it to be in the barters. Oh. Could do that on screen. Great. It's not looking for it in the barter files necessarily, or in the deeds, or in the disenchantments, although that's good to know that that exists. Items, that's what I wanted. Great. Awesome. That gives us what we need, among other things. So we're in a good state here. So step one, add text names for localization files. Okay, let's do that. Locale, and we'll open up English, German, and French. What's code? Oh, nice. Okay, so let's assume that these are in some sort of an order. We're looking for hit bold. Looking for hit bold, medallions, all this in the Ale Association. Great. So delving writs. So we need a prefix that we're going to be using for this. So BOT was badges of taste. we're going to go ahead and use the M prefix and then delving writ. Great. And that is going to be when in doubt, or when possible, I'd like to go ahead and copy things directly from the source file here. And we're going to go ahead and, what am I looking at? Copy delving writ from here. And, you know, let's go ahead and get the other languages while I'm thinking about it. There's our German, and let's get this up here. And here is the French. And we're not going to bother with the Russian. TitanBar doesn't have Russian files at the moment. That's okay. Okay, and then while we are looking at this, we could go ahead and get the other files here that we're interested in. So let's get token of heroism. Token of, well, that's silly. Token of heroism. And that's going to be token of heroism, TOH. And we'll go ahead and get the other versions of that as well. Marked at Heldentum's. Okay. Okay, next up is Heroes Marks. And that's going to be this one. Now, one thing I haven't been very good at so far is double checking that these prefixes aren't already in use. Let's do that real fast. Sorry, not prefixes, these abbreviations. So, especially just the three-letter ones, or really 2 letters plus the M. That's a place where you can see that. All right, Helden marked, great. Here's Mark. Mark the heroes. Okay. Great. And the last one we wanted was, that was it. Okay, so we're definitely going to go with those 3. So if there are any tokens that you find are missing in TitanBar that you'd like to see added sooner rather than later, now's a great time to toss them into chat, and we can add them to the list. Epic Games TV says, "Are you breaking things again?" No, I'm just trying to add a couple of currencies to TitanBar using the old annoying method. Winter. Fertile says, "There are Yule tokens in here. Is there a different winter token that you are thinking of?" And while Fertile gets a chance to type that, we're going to go ahead and... Okay, so those are the ones you're thinking of. Great. Unless you say, no, that's not what you're thinking of. All right, well, I will look out for what you have to say. Okay, so we have Delving Writs. Yeah, Epic Games, if there's specific tokens you're thinking of, especially if they're not the current endgame tokens that people are thinking of, but maybe more broadly appealing tokens, let me know. At the moment, I'm going to start with these 3, and we'll go from there. So what we're going to do is just be kind of lazy and copy these over. So this is line 127-ish. We're just going to copy these over and delete the ones that don't apply. Nope. So German, German, German. And in the French, we're going to go ahead and the French is doing something that might be necessary here. Let me look at this code file somewhere else. Okay, so opening this up in a better editor now for this purpose, we can see that we could go ahead and replace E here with that. But before I do that, I think I want to go ahead and just say, here's what it is, or what it should be. And then we'll go ahead and replace the E. You know what? I could do this smarter. There we go. And the E as well. Make sure I got it right. Awesome. Now, we could also test that we've done this correctly by copying that into the English version. But for right now, we're going to leave it. But I have foolishly not done what I said I wanted to do, which was give me a human-readable version of this. And that one does not have any characters that need that. Okay. Next thing is delete, delete, delete. The hover over version of this. For reasons, Moria token says fertile. Oh, interesting. Do we know what the name is? Moria. Medallions of Moria? I could see where that would be helpful for Angmar and Mortar. Okay. Give a shout out if that was the right one, though. Yes, awesome. Let's go ahead and get this then. Medallion of Moria, and we can see that is this number. Great, and that's going to be what are the chances we have MOM? We do not. Mum. Okay. We're going to go ahead and duplicate that up. Medallions von Moria. Makes sense. And Medallion de la Moria. Okay. Someday I hope to learn more about French pronunciation so I don't butcher it so much, but today is not that day. Okay, that's good. Let's go ahead and grab the Delving Writ ID though. Okay, cool, thanks Ferdold. So in English, this is pretty straightforward. You start off with the DW and end with an H. DW being the prefix that we're talking about. And then equals, these are your, and then we use the pluralized version, Delving Writs. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just copy this, but then fix up the prefix. So that is TOH. That is HMH, and that is MOMH. And again, just for kicks, let's make sure we're not duplicating this. Wait, what was that? Okay. It does not behave well if you use the same key in the table multiple times for different things. Okay, so these are your tokens of heroism instead of token of heroisms. These are your heroes' marks, not heroes' mark. And, oh, that's funny. Never up to that. These are your medallions of Moria. Okay. For other languages, that's a little bit harder. So that's Delving Writ. Let's go ahead and pull that in. Tokens of heroism. Now, worst case, it just stays in English. I think we can do better than that, but that's the worst case. And medallions of Moria. But at the very least, the hover over text is taken care of. Now, we do have this E that we want to go ahead and encode. At least maybe we want to do that. We're going to err on the side of doing it for right now. And then what we can do is look at how this is formulated in other places. And it's very much always the same in this French file. So we can go ahead and just say, okay, let's use that as these are your, as a starting point in place of these are your. Now, the problem is we haven't pluralized them yet, and they're still the English version. So we can at least copy in the French version of it, and then it's just not pluralized. Prophets TV says, greetings, how's the code going? Going pretty well. We're just walking through the steps of adding tokens, wallet barter items to TitanBar as it stands so that people get access to that sooner rather than later. So we're doing these 4 today: Delving Writs, Tokens of Heroism, Heroes Marks, and Medallions of Moria, with the goal of doing that super fast-ish. As fast as one does. Okay, so this is all good. Now, one thing we could do is take a look at Delving Writ and say, okay, I'm pretty sure we saw Delving Writs somewhere, which means we could probably pull up the pluralization of it. No, don't be large. Okay. Okay, and we can see here the pluralization went on the first octas. Okay. That works. So let's go ahead and same thing in the German. If we look at the prefix here, it looks like it's just the German version of your. So they just didn't bother with the these are your whatever. Okay, we can use this. Great, and we have the pluralization. Stuka instead of Stuck. Okay, that works for me. Let's go ahead and do the next one. So this is starting off as token of heroism. So let's see if we can find tokens of heroism. If we can, that makes it much easier because we can rely on the game data. And if it's wrong, we are at least consistent. Markin. Wait, what am I looking up? Yes, tokens of heroism. Great. And in the French, jetons. Okay. And in fact, we're going to just copy jetons. Probably don't even need to copy it. It's just an S. And the rest of it can stay because it's got the escape characters going on. Okay, next up, the hero's mark. Now, we know in the English that is hero's marks. So we're going to go ahead and see how does the game do these things. Heldenmarken makes sense for the German. And heroes. Okay. Okay. Great. Get that French pluralization going. Medallion of Moria. Kind of feels like Medallion of Lothlorien and Dol Guldur might be appropriate as well. Hang on. Medallions of Lothlorien, Dol... I don't have any Dol Guldur. Nope, that's not the right one. Here we go. Okay, that makes sense. LOTRO Medallion of Dol Guldur. Do I just not have any of those? Were used. Okay, these are downgraded, so we don't need those. But Medallions of Lothlorien, I think, are still active. So you know what? We're going to toss those into the mix. Why do 4 things when you could do 5? Okay, so that is MOL, also known as Maid of Lions. But let's double check that that's not already in use by something else. It is not. Great. And for its hover over, these are your medallions of Lothlorien. Okay. So we have the same thing where we're going to want, did I get that? Yes. We're going to want to bring this over. All right, but we were doing Medallion of Moria, so let's find medallions. Okay. In the German, medallions of Moria. Okay, we were. Right. Cool. And in the French, Medallions de la Moria. Okay, we'll just put an S there. And same thing, we want the medallions of Lothlorien. Alright, and we'll go ahead and replace lost track of what I was doing. We're going to go ahead and fix up the French. Go ahead and copy that to there, and then fix up the E, and we need the O as well. Great. Okay, so there's our 5 tokens. And you know what, let me copy this out for my records. Medallions of Moria, Medallions of Lothlorien. Cool. Okay. Just notice the German version didn't get fixed up there. Okay. That looks better. Alright, there are escape codes being used here for Tellurian's benefit. I guess we'll go ahead and escape that O. And delving rich as well. So I need that U with an umlaut. Great. Okay, so we are good on the first thing. The first thing was that's strange. Okay, we've added the names to the localization files. So we're searching for wallet currency controls, and we add the currencies to the list. Oh, yes, that's what we just did. Cool. Well, Chatty says we have 6 raiders from Task Pumpkin that are joining. Hello there, and welcome to a stream about plugins for LOTRO. Specifically, this stream is about adding a few currencies to the TitanBar plugin. If that's what you came here for, then I'm glad you found it. Okay, the first one starts with an M, and normally that. Second one starts with that plus an H. Check if it's in use, and has to be exactly the name in the game. And most of them signature, otherwise it won't work. Great, so we've done that. So we're going to do the next thing, which is go to main.lua. And you know what? Let's tear this off so we can see both of them and make this as wide as it can be without being under my face. Okay, so the next thing is we're searching for wallet order and add the next number to the array. Now this doesn't, as far as I know, matter, but we're going to go ahead and do it. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. And hello, Task Pumpkin in chat. Next thing, we're going to search for player align equals 1 and add the abbreviations to the menu item. That is to say, for free people's play, not for PvP monster play. Position in that array defines the order in which the currencies are listed. All right, let's do it. So Um, we have Delving Writs, Tokens of Heroism. I mean, these are all currencies, but Motes of Enchantment, Fragments of Splendor, Embers, and Ancient Script. Fascinating. Delving Writs does kind of feel like it goes in there, as do Tokens of Heroism and Heroes Marks. It's not a festival, it's not illegal association. Item Advancement. What is an SP? That's before ASP. So Shard, apparently. I am not sure that's valid anymore. Okay. Other. MF Silver Piece, Bingo Badge. I'm going to think about this for a moment. One of the first things I think of when I look at a list that's getting this long is either add separators, entries that are kind of fake entries in this list that you can't click on them, they don't do anything, but they have text and probably different color text, so you can have different chunks of this, or just divide it into a tree and with expandable leaves. However, those are both beyond the scope of what we're doing right now. So, this currency category just frustrates me because it's a wallet. They're all currencies. But I think that's more of a generic thing. Medallions of Moria Lotharian, sure, they'll all go at the bottom. Added 311. So, we are adding the abbreviations that we just wrote down. So, we have Delving Writ, and 4 others. So we'll just go ahead and prefix that, or copy paste those. Oh, I did one too few. Great. So, this will get it into the menu. Pretty sure it'll just break horribly at this point, but let's give it a try. We've saved all. Let's go ahead and load and see what goes wrong, if anything. Okay. Fantastic. So, we have down here, Delving Writ, Token of Heroism, Heroes Mark, Medallion of Moria, Medallion of Lotharian. Perfect. If we go ahead and try to do something with it, it will almost certainly crash. It did not. Fascinating. Yeah. Okay, so we have a couple things complaining here. Why are these things complaining? TitanBar, Control, Wallet Tooltip. Line 42. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, I guess it does. Huh. Why would it be no? Oh, I do. This was something. Nope, not gonna get distracted. That does not matter, but it does matter, but not today. Okay. So, it doesn't have anything to do with what I'm doing right here. I don't think. or if it does, we'll fix it soon. So, search for player line, add the abbreviation, the order defines where it is. Great. Add currency file in control directory. Copy an existing currency file. I mostly use anniversary token. I'm going to use the most recent one because if I made any changes to the pattern, I would like to know it. Actually, I don't even need to do that. I'm going to navigate, documents, Lord of the Rings online, plugins, Having plugins, TitanBar, control, and let's just take a look. They use anniversary token. Great. Let's go ahead and take a look. And the more recent ones would have been something like, these all have the same timestamp, don't they? Ancient Script. Ancient Script is a more recent one. So that one was written by Duriel. Gotta say, curious if I have my name on any of these. Control badge of dishonor. Okay, used the long one, but sure. Badge of taste and dishonor. Great. We're going to compare those. Okay. Any obvious differences here? We're going to go ahead and come on in here and say unimportant text, yes. Regular expression, DOT. What's the start of line? Get those backwards so often. Regular expression, start of line, LAT. Great, just make it easier. Okay. Yep, that's pretty formulaic. That is fine. So what we want to do is we're going to copy one of these for each one. I'm going to do a single one, make a few changes, and then use that. So let's come on in here. We're doing delving writ. No, I'm going to resist. There's so many things that can be done. Resist. Okay, I'm not going to do it. Okay, so this is any place where we have BOT, we want to replace it with DW. And do we have a keep case, match case? There we go, preserve case. And that is to say, no, I don't even think that should be, nope, that's wrong. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and search DW, yep. Ad hoc variables, yep. Yes. Great. That was a badge, so let's go ahead and just find those places. Delving writ, badge, yep. Delving writ, table, and I'll just go ahead and start doing delving writ. Okay, and badge of taste, delving writ, and that's pretty much it. let's find where that settings is. We'll get to that. Great. Okay, we're going to get to that. So, in delving writ, so at this point, we should have no more badges. Awesome. That finishes off delving writ. Now, did we have spaces here? No, we did not. Great. I really feel like that's a bit of a misnomer. Let's go ahead and just fix that. Written by Cube. Oh, that's something he did. Well, possibly he, they. All right, I'll leave that then. Cool. Okay, so that is delving writ. And while we're here, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for the next one. This is token of heroism. You know, I closed the English one. I probably shouldn't have done that. All right, so this is token of heroism. And we're going to go ahead and do the same basic thing. This is token of heroism .lua. And this is going to be TOH, because that is its abbreviation. So any place where we have this DW, and we can make that into TOH. And I'm just keeping an eye out because maybe DW appears somewhere else. So I just want to make sure that this is all sensible changing. Okay, so we just changed delving writ. So let's go ahead and replace delving writ with token of heroism. And then we want to go ahead and change delving writ with no space, and then delve. Okay. Go into detail. So that is token of heroism. Now let's do another one, which is delving writ. This is going to be heroes marks. Heroes mark. And that's going to be HM. Yeah. So that'll be our first thing, is we're going to change W to HM. And we've already seen that we didn't come across anything weird, but I do still like doing it manually, one at a time instead of all of them, just as a bit of a sanity check. Okay. So change up delving writ, and this is going to be heroes marks. Mark. And then, let's see, delving, yep, there we go. It'll be heroes mark. And that's it. So if I search for delving, nothing else. That's it for heroes mark. Now we do Oh goodness, did we already do Token of Heroism? We did. So, Medallion of Moria. So let's go ahead and do Delving Red again. Hang on a sec. Medallion of Moria. And we bring it in. So, MOM. Alright, at this point, I think we can safely do a replace all. So, these replace all of your favorite editor, and then we're going to come into Delving Writ. We're replacing that with Medallion of Moria, and then Delving Writ, Medallion of Moria, no spaces. That is that. So, search for Delve. Great. And then we want to go ahead and, one last time, this is Medallions of Lothlorien. For compatibility purposes, we're not going to have special characters in the file name. But we're going to go ahead and say DW goes to MOL, replace, Delving Writ goes to Medallions of Lothlorien. These are all comments, so that's okay. And then Delving Writ, no space. We are going to go ahead and strip that special character O, because that's being used as a lookup for a variable name. Okay, so that's all 5 of them. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and copy this out in your different files so I can more easily reference it. Okay, that's Medallions of that. Great. So we have added currency file in control directory. We copied an existing one. We changed the name of the file to the name of the new currency, as defined in the localization. Replace everything which is connected to the old currency, abbreviation name comments with the new one. I use replace all function of Notepad++. Indeed. Huh. That's what it is. Great. So we've done that. Add currency in tbresources.lua. Let's do it. So, or more correctly, add the image of the currency. Search for G wallet items and copy the last entry in the array and paste it. What is going on here? Huh. I don't think that's right. However, so we're going to go ahead and add these things in. So we don't actually have these values yet. Okay, that's disable. Okay, I don't know why it's complaining and I don't care. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is going to be Token of Heroism. This is going to be Heroes Marks. This is going to be Medallions of Moria. And this will be Medallions of Lothlorien. I guess we'll get to see how it cares about that special character. Contain Unicode characters. It sure does. Okay. So, getting the icon associated with this item. Let's go back to items. We're going to do a search. And try to get a sense of where are we going to find this information. Not disenchantments. If I were faster on this, I would remember where to find this. There we go. Okay. So I think this is a paper item, therefore, we can come in here and get its icon ID. For consistency's sake, it would be nice if that icon ID were in hex instead of in decimal. So we're just going to park that over here for a minute. In fact, we'll park the whole thing over here for a minute. Okay, token of heroism. Great. Let's grab that. Heroes marks. Heroes mark. Medallion of Moria. Medallion of Moria. And we have Lothlorien right after it. Okay. So let's go ahead. Oops. Select all these, and then they are decimal, and we want them to be hex, but we want them to be prefixed with a 0x. And wouldn't it be nice if they were... Oh, I guess they are all uppercase. Okay. Cool. So we're going to go ahead and copy those on in. That gives us the icons that for them to be displayed in the TitanBar itself or in the wallet tooltip. Awesome. Replace the name in the last entry with the new currency. Replace the hex value with the new icon. If you don't know the value, scroll down to blah, blah, blah. Okay. For each point after this, search through the files and every time the existing currencies are listed, add the new currency, which is such an error-prone method. This is one of the reasons why I want to improve this. But in the meantime, let's go through this process. Is it still going to be complaining if I don't have that? It does. I don't know why. Okay. We are going into functions.lua. And we are going to MAS, ancient script. Okay, so the first thing we're doing is updating the thingamajiggy on the TitanBar. This is boilerplate code. So we want to update X. So in this case, it is delving writ. All right, so update delving writ. And then this is this BOD. That's going to be a delving writ where. That lookup, that, and that. Great. So this is also going to be delving writ currency on TitanBar. And at that point, we're good. And we just have to do that 4 more times. So we're actually going to pull this out. Okay, so the next one is going to be a token of heroism. I'm going to pull that a little bit closer. All right, update token of heroism. And for that, this is going to be all one word, token of heroism. And then that DW turns into all right, and no more badge, no more anything. So we're going to bring that on in. Great. Next one, Heroes Mark. Update Heroes Mark currency. So for this one, the full spelling, instead of Badge of Dishonor, is going to be Heroes Mark. And then instead of BOD, it is going to be HM. Great. What is this? Roll Shift H. Of course it is. Don't feel like that was a great choice for me. Okay. So we have no more Badge of Dishonor. Badge. It's all good. So we're going to bring this on in. That is the Hero's Mark. The next one are the Medallions of Moria. So grab the Badge of Dishonor again. And Medallions of Moria. And this is where BOD turns into MOM. Badge and BOD. So we're done with that. And finally, updating the Badge of Dishonor to be a Medallion of Lothlorien. Now we do have that abbreviated, sorry, the full version of that is without the special O, but we can include it in a comment. That is no problem. This is going to be MOL. MOL. And at that point, no more badge and no more BOD. All right. Done with that section, but that's not all. BOD. Basically anywhere we have this. So we have already done this one, but we have 1, 2, 3 more places it looks like. Odd that we didn't find this first. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go ahead and see if we can do all this a little bit more all together. So Badge of Dishonor, that's going to become Delving Writ, Token of Heroism, Hero's Mark, Medallion of Moria, and finally Medallion of Lothlorien. Okay, so at least the comments are up to date. So, BOD here. Then we have, sorry, DW, we have TOH, we have HM, we have MOM, and we have MOL. Hang on a sec. I need that to stop bothering me. Okay. So we have, I think these are all pretty much identical. They're allowing for currency-specific adjustments to things in the most cumbersome way possible. Okay, all that's identical. But again, we're not fixing it today. We're just getting these in so people can use them. It's fine. Yes, we almost certainly missed about it. Okay, so what else? We have BOD. We have done this part. Great. BOD, we've done this part. Okay, another one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one is pretty straightforward. We're going to be replacing BOD with our abbreviation for that line. So that's that. TOH, HM, MOM, and MOL. There we go. What else? BOD, badge of dishonor. Great. Let's go ahead and 2, 3, 4, 5. So BOD, we're going to replace with DW. Then we're going to replace with TOH. Then we're going to replace with HM. Then we're going to replace with MOM. And then MOL. Great. So that's that. Next, in here, the badge of dishonor. All right, so this one, done. This one, hang on a second. Oh, we did do that. Okay, great. Phew. Yes, 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 great. So there's 4 of them, and we've done 2, 3, 4, all of them. Functions is done. Now for functions CTR. Let's go ahead and see. BOD. We have only one instance of BOD. So let's go ahead and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. So we know it's delving writ. We know this is just so we can do this later. I'm going to take a minute to set something up for a multi-edit, because who knows how many times we're going to be doing this. Okay. So what we just want to do is go ahead and say we're going to cut out these 5. We're going to go ahead and select these 5 and paste that in. So that's set up for later, so I don't have to keep copy pasting that. Okay, so BOD, we have that. And oh yes, it would not hurt to have those as well. Token of Heroism, Hero's Mark, Medallion of Moria, and Medallion of Lothlorien. Great. Let's get that copied in here. So we're going to go ahead and multi-select, remove those, and then for each of these, come on in and paste in. Awesome. Okay, next up, BOD, we want to replace it with DW for delving writ. Nope. We want to replace that. There we go. M16V says, what's that for? We're looking at code for the TitanBar plugin. And in fact, let me see if I can pull open one other thing. No, cannot. Okay, so what we're doing is we're adding in code for TitanBar to support 5 new currencies: Delving Writs, Tokens of Heroism, Heroes Marks, Medallions of Moria, and Medallions of Lothlorien. So, you know, it is a lot. It's a lot more than it needs to be, but because of the way TitanBar was written, it is currently what is necessary to make it work. So we're going to go ahead and do, instead of Badges of Dishonor for this section, it is Tokens of Heroism, and then it is Heroes Marks, and then it is Medallions of Moria, and then it is Medallions of Lothlorien. Okay, and we know we're done if we search for well, yeah, okay, so update Badge of Dishonor. Those all need to be fixed. I missed them. So we're going to come on in here, select all of those separately, and then any of these updates, we're going to go ahead and fix that. Okay, any other badge? No, so we must be done. So, coming on in, stick that in on the edge of Badge of Dishonor. There we go. M16 asks, you are a software developer? Yes. In my day job, I am a software engineer or computer programmer or what have you. And in some of my spare time, I enjoy making or updating plugins for Lord of the Rings Online. TitanBar is not one that I have made, but it is one that I contribute to from time to time. In this case, adding a couple of currencies that people would really like to be able to track within TitanBar. Okay, so we have updated all of these. I think that'll be correct. And if we search for BOD for Badge of Dishonor, that is the only one. So, that's good. Functions menu control. Next. Okay. M6TV says, I'm studying at the moment, software developer. Awesome. Well, I hope you find this interesting and or, you know, that it gives you some ideas for projects of your own that you want to embark on. Okay. I have just realized that in these places, I am not doing a good search for Badge of Dishonor, so I want to make sure that... Yes, okay. I did indeed miss something. Which is why this is so error prone. So we're going to go ahead and come on in with these values. Go ahead and grab them, find all the instances of if show, select that and paste in the various things. And then we'll need to update the Badge of Dishonor abbreviation. DW. Nope. That's strange. Yeah, I do have to type it correctly. Token of Heroism. Heroes Marks. Medallion of Moria. And Medallion of Lothlorien. I'm in chat. Where did you learn it when you were young? School or somewhere else? Yeah, I started off in an American high school. So this would be ages roughly 13 to 17, 14 to 18, depending on when you're born. So in there, they had coursework for Visual Basic. And then if you wanted to move on to something more advanced, and if the teacher thought you were competent enough, you could jump into learning C++. And then going off to university, I had exposure to other languages as well. And then through working, I've seen C# and Java and other things as well. And for plugin development, Lua. Okay, so all of these look great. Let's go ahead and bring them in. And scroll on down here for a second because, okay, those are good. So what I want to search for is just, yeah, anywhere else where we see dishonor. Dishonor on you, dishonor on your family. Okay, that's fine. It's kind words. Thank you for joining us, and like I said, hopefully it gives you some inspiration. Okay, that was everything in functions. Let's go into functions CTR, and we're going to search for dishonor, and make sure that we didn't have any places where dishonor appeared, but quote BOD did not. Yep, like that. Okay, so same thing. We're going to pull in these shorts. Go ahead and multi-select and fix that. Yep, that. And then update. Fix that. And then we just need to update these. So BOD turns into DW for delving writ, and then TOH for token of heroism, HM for heroes marks, MOM for medallions of Moria, and MOL for medallions of Lothlorien. So let's go ahead and toss those in. And that's the end of the file, so we're probably done with that. Coming on in to functions menu control. Great. Dishonor. So, same thing, we need to replace show hide badge of dishonor with, yeah, show hide whatever. We need to replace the BOD, and that's going to be DW for delving writ. It's going to be TOH, tokens of heroism, HM, heroes marks. I have made a mistake because we're doing two of these. TOH, HM, MOM, and MOL. There we go. So, bring that on in here. Those functions don't exist yet, but they will by the time we're done. So we're going to just ignore that particular IntelliSense error. Okay, let's search for BOD. And here, it is just going to be BOD. Great. 4 times each, I think. So we're going to go ahead and do DW, and then TOH, tokens of heroism, and then HM, heroes marks, and then MOM, medallions of Moria, and MOL, medallions of Lothlorien. Cool. I didn't actually mean to maximize it, but I guess it's okay. Okay, more BOD. Great. So, we've got the squished up names here that we need to deal with. So we're going to go ahead and take all of this. And if show, we can multi-select from there and replace the rest of that, if show whatever. And then we can go ahead and start doing the same thing with BOD, but starting with DW for delving writ. And then token of heroism, and then HM for heroes marks, medallion of Moria, and medallion of Lothlorien. Great. Okay. It's again complaining about these global variables not being defined yet, and that is true. I noticed that this one was not correct, just as we happen to be in there, so we'll fix that up. Okay, what's next? BOD, we have found that one, great. BOD, we found that one, and that is all. Okay, functions, CTR is done. Functions menu can, oh, sorry, we were already there. Yes, BOD. And we are searching for match case, I guess. I don't think it matters. Okay, so we did that one, and then we have this one. Okay, we are not using the concatenated versions, so we can jump straight into the abbreviations. BOD being replaced by DW, and then TOH, token of heroism, and then HM, heroes marks, MOM, medallions of Moria, MOL, medallions of Lothlorien. Great. If this seems like a lot of redundancy to you, you have the right instinct. This can and should be done better. But this is refactoring this code to make the better happen. Took me long enough that I got distracted with other things. So for now, we're just going to get this done and out the door. Okay, that was functions menu control. So if we do a search for BOD here, we are missing something. Fantastic. So we do have the concatenated versions. So let's bring that on here. And then we can go ahead and do if show and replace that there. But we also need it at show hide what, and we can do that there. And then finally, the BOD. BOD is going to be replaced by DW, and then TOH, tokens of heroism, and then HM, heroes marks, and then MOM, medallion of Moria, MOL, medallion of Lothlorien. Cool. So, BOD, done, done. Looks great. So, functions menu control is done. Unless we go ahead and search for dishonor and find anything different. Nope, all those are taken care of as well, it looks like. Cool. What's next? Functions menu. Fantastic. So, BOD and dishonor. Let's go ahead and hoist this on out. Three, four, five. Yeesh. And let's see, we do have the concatenated versions. So let's go ahead and bring that on in. And where do we have it? At the very least on set visible. We can go ahead and fix those up. And then dishonor, great. Show badge of dishonor. We can go ahead, nope, that's not going to work. All right, show badge of dishonor equals not show badge of dishonor. Okay. Settings badge of dishonor equals that settings dot what equals something. We'll deal with the BOD later. Save settings, import if show the thing. And then stuff and things and show that. Okay. So at this point, dishonor should no longer appear, oh, except in the names of the functions. Fantastic. So we're going to multi-select on show hide, and there we go. Dishonor, no. So we do need to fix up the BODs, abbreviations. So same as it all ever was. We're going to go ahead and do delving writs first. And then we're going to do tokens of heroism. And then we're going to do heroes marks. Then medallions of Moria and medallions of Lothlorien. There we go. Just realized, nope, we do have spaces between the functions. Great. Okay, that's the only place for dishonor, and then BOD, that's the only place for BOD. Great. So functions menu is done. That was that line. Add currency in settings.lua. Sounds great. Love to do it. Okay, settings. We want to find BOD. Settings makes me sad. Not the existence of settings, just the way these settings currently work. Okay, so we have a section of code that looks like this. And we need that to get updated 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So we do have our concatenation version. So let's go ahead and get that going. And let's select on one thing. Okay, so badge of dishonor. I wish I could do a multi-select while doing a multi-select. I don't think that would end up well though. Okay, then settings dot whatever. So this is one of the many places where being able to do multi-select editing is just makes me so happy. Even if I'm maybe could do this even more efficiently than I am. But being able to apply the same change simultaneously to 5 different sections of code just really works for what I'm trying to do. Show that. Yep. Show that equals settings dot delving writ. And then, well, this still look like it's doing good stuff. Yep. Make it do. Okay, and show badge of dishonor settings dot that equals. Okay, so first thing, have we gotten rid of all the dishonor? We did not, and in fact we had a section where this was not going well. That is a danger of doing multi-select. But you know what? Easy enough to just scrap it and do it all over again. Now, maybe this would actually be easier if I did it a different way. Which is to say, we could do this in 2 pieces. So in here, if I just say every badge of dishonor is now delving writ, and there is no more dishonor for now. And then do the same thing here. Tokens of heroism. Let's go ahead. Tokens of heroism. Bam. And we're going to go ahead and put that here. Then the next one, we're going to come in. Show badge of dishonor becomes hero's mark. Next one is Medallion of Moria. And the final one is Medallion of Lothlorien. Fantastic. Now, if I've done this right, dishonor does not appear. However, we still have the BOD. So, BOD. This is where we'll go ahead and step through with DW for Delving Writ. And then TOH, Token of Heroism. And then HM, Heroes Marks. And then MOM, Medallions of Moria. And then MOL, Medallions of Lothlorien. Great. Kind of. Okay, and all those places that were complaining about a lack of settings being equal to something, now that's going to be equal to something. Okay, so if I search for BOD, we have Badge of Dishonor in a different place. Let's fix that up. 4, 5. Now, we're going to do this slightly differently. Just for a change of pace. And the Medallion of Lothlorien. Now, circle back around. BOD becomes DW. And then TOH. And then HM. And then MOM. And then MOL. So, dishonor doesn't exist. Great. Cool. What about other instances of it? Like this one. So in case anyone was confused, this is why people are so slow to add currencies to TitanBar. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do a multi-edit on here. Show what? Show stuff. And then for whatever control, we can do a multi-select on that as well. So this is for a something control. There we go. And the last thing is the BOD. We're going to change that to DW. And then TOH. And then HM. And then MOM. And then MOL. And then copy it back in. 16 says, keep up the good work, and you're going to be back later if I'm still here. All right, well, we'll see. I've already been on for about an hour and a half, give or take, and sort of my target is around 2 hours, so we'll see what happens. If I'm still here in 3 hours, then that's the kind of thing that happens when you're adding currencies to TitanBar. Okay, so BOD. We're going to go ahead and hoist this on out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do have the concatenated version of things. Let's bring it on in. Let's do a multi-select. And settings dot. What do we have here? All right, let's start with that one. And then settings dot. That, and then dishonor. Okay, there we go. If show dishonor. No more dishonor. Okay, BOD turns into DW for delving writs. Turns into TOH for token of heroism. Turns into HM for heroes marks. MOM, medallions of Moria. And MOL, medallions of Lothlorien. Great. Dishonor, nope. Alright, that goes in. Okay, I think we hit the end of it. So, now we search for dishonor. And we got that section. We got this section. We have this section, and we have this section. So that's great. That is done with settings.lua. Next up is FRM options. So we're going to search for BOD. And in each of these, we do have the concatenated version. So let's grab that first. And show hide equals that. And then BOD goes to DW delving writs, TOH tokens of heroism, HM heroes marks, MOM medallions of Moria, MOL medallions of Lothlorien. Great. Okay. Next up, that was it, but dishonor, that is it. Okay. Next up, FRM main. So, BOD, we have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this one's just the abbreviations. So, DW, delving writs, tokens of heroism, TOH, heroes marks, HM, MOM, medallions of Moria, MOL, medallions of Lothlorien. Great. More BOD. 2, 3, 4, 5. Same deal. Delving writs. Tokens of heroism. Heroes marks. Medallions of Moria. Medallions of Lothlorien. Potina Bowen says, hail, hello, and welcome. Okay. Next up, BOD. Okay, and dishonor. Alright, no dishonor. Pudding says, busy today? Yeah, today we're adding in some currencies to the TitanBar as it exists on LOTRO interface. And we're adding delving writs, tokens of heroism, heroes marks, medallions of Moria, and medallions of Lothlorien. All in one fell swoop. That's the end of FRM main. Now, background.lua. Really? What on earth are we doing in there? Okay. Badge of dishonor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we don't have any dishonor, just the abbreviation. So delving writ. Tokens of heroism, heroes marks, medallions of Moria, and Lothlorien. Great. Next up, BOD. Same thing here. We're going to go ahead and start with DW, Delving Writs, Tokens of Heroism, Heroes Marks, Medallions of Moria, and Lothlorien. Okay, same thing here. Delving Writs, Tokens of Heroism, Heroes Marks, Medallions of Moria, and Lothlorien. Okay, so dishonor, no dishonors, and starting from the top, BOD, we have that group, we have this group, and this group. And they are all followed by the ones that we just added. Great. So that's background. Next up, wallet tooltip. It must be in controls. A wallet tooltip. There we go. Okay, this one does include the concatenated version of the name. So we're going to go ahead and grab that, and then dot badge of dishonor becomes whatever. And then the rest of this is the prefix BOD. So DW Delving Writ, Tokens of Heroism, Heroes Marks, Medallion of Moria, and Lothlorien. Great. Next, in this file, BOD, it's just that, and then dishonor, just that. Then we're good. Next up, wallet window. We are searching for BOD. And then before we get to LOTRO points, 1, 2, 3, nope, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to look, we do have our badge of dishonor. Okay. All right, show hide. Great. If not, this, then this, and then settings dot badge of dishonor. Great. So dishonor. Oh, we do still have it. All right. Also show dishonor. We do not have it. Okay. So we're going to come in here and start doing the BOD replacement. DW. Nope, too many. We're going to switch to Tokens of Heroism. Switch to Heroes Marks, Medallions of Moria, and Lothlorien. So, dishonor, no. BOD, nope. Probably is correct now. Great. So, where else? BOD, yep. Have some of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we had the full name as comment. Why not? Let's go ahead and swap that in for ours. And then the rest of it is the abbreviation. So BOD becomes DW, Delving Writ, Tokens of Heroism, Heroes Marks, Medallions of Moria, Medallions of Lothlorien. Okay, BOD, anywhere else? All right, we have those. Must have just done that. Okay, we only have that. And then Dishonor. Great. So everything in wallet window seems to be updated. And that was it. That's everything we needed to do for a new currency, it would seem. Let's go ahead and load this up and see how many syntax errors we have made. Seemingly none. That seems astonishing. Oh, yes. I know why that's happening. It's not because of me. But we'll go ahead and put a player info or something up here. Okay, so we have added several things. Let's go ahead and test them. And we're going to test them by putting them on, first of all, we're going to put them onto the bar here. And then we are going to move them around so that we can unload and load and see that their positions have been saved. So Delving Writ, we're going to put that on the TitanBar. Errored. Attempting to call showed Delving Writ a Boolean value. Yeah, okay, that's fair. I can see why you would think that. Okay, so we're going to go to wallet window. Yeah. All these places. 329. What did I do? Yeah, that should have been show hide. Show hide. Show hide. Show hide. Show hide. Cool. Let's see how many other mistakes I made along the way. We're going to go ahead and Delving Writ, show on TitanBar. Awesome. We are missing the ID, the image, so that's something. Let's go to Tokens of Heroism on TitanBar. Okay, so I may have done the image IDs incorrectly for these. We'll see. Heroes Marks on TitanBar. Great. Medallions of... and Medallions of... or those are the small ones? Okay, let's go ahead and unload, first of all, and then load, and make sure it at least, okay, everything still comes back to the same place. Badge of Dishonor, Dishonor. Okay, the tooltips are not correct. So, wallet tooltip. Fascinating. Well, that will do it. DW, TOH, HM, MOM, and MOL. So that'll at least fix the tooltips. Okay. Delving Writs, Tokens of Heroism, Heroes Marks, Medallions of Lothlorien, and messed that one up. Wait. But I didn't mess them up. I messed up this. Okay. Yeah. MOL, MOLH. I didn't update that one correctly. So, that was never going to work. So error prone. Okay. Medallions of Moria, Medallions of Lothlorien. Okay. The hoverovers work. We could test some other things, but let's go ahead and fix this icon issue. We know where that's supposed to be. It's supposed to be in... TB resources. Let's go take a look at that. So, where is wallet item referenced? I guess let's make sure something else does work that we know should work. We know modes of enchantment should work. Great. So it's not a problem with icons specifically. And oh, why not? Gift giver brands. 36 of them. Okay. So it's not an icon in general thing. It's definitely the icons that I just added. That would be because I added the number, but I didn't say icon equals. So when we look up the icon equals field, that's just not going to work. That was never going to work. It could not have worked. Let's give it a try now that we have actually written it correctly. Okay, only problem is we used the ID from in the wallet, which is half size in each dimension. So it is being tiled in a way that I'm just not a fan of. But we know the full version exists in here. So what was that? That was Delving Writ. Delving Writ. That was actually correct, and I've hit escape too many times. Shouldn't have hit it at all. Okay, so Delving Writs, that image is correct. So I want to go in and look that up. However, it is in hex, so let's go ahead and say hex to decimal so we can find that sucker. Okay, so, nope, stop it. Paper items. We can see the icon ID is that. Great. So what is up with the other ones? Token of heroism. Token of heroism. Icon ID should be this. And heroes marks. Okay, is it? Decimal to hex. 839. Okay, that's the small version, so not a big fan of that. But the Delving Writ one is correct. So let's go ahead and find out where else this is used. Fascinating. Okay, so we don't actually need to worry about this because I do have most, if not all of these. I do have all of these. So they did mention, if you don't know the values of this, scroll down to the Hello World plugin. Fantastic. What does it say? I need the icons for some of the new currencies. This is how to get them with the second plugin. The Hello World plugin lists all the currencies with their icon image number that you have in your wallet. Fantastic. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's follow these instructions. So we're going to go to Documents, Lord of the Rings Online, Plugins, and what do they say? Create a new folder with the name Duriel. All right. Open that folder. Documents, Lord of the Rings, Plugins, Duriel. Create a new folder file with the name helloworld.plugin. Can do. Kill the .txt ending. I'm going to shrink this down a little bit. Create a folder with the name Hello World. Great. Open that folder. The complete path should be blah, blah, blah. Create a file with main.lua. Can do. Nope. All right. Copy the following into the hello world.plugin. And copy the following into main.lua. Log into LOTRO. Well, I think I've already got that covered. And load. Now, I have enough things in my wallet that this might actually be a problem. So what you can do, and maybe they actually say this. Hang on, don't let me preempt this. Plugins load, you go to list, find the currency, open that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah, so that doesn't actually answer the problem here. So what I like to do, right click on it, chat login, go ahead and start logging, and then load it, and then we can go ahead and stop logging. Then this log file is going to be in your Lord of the Rings online folder. So for me, it's going to be in plugins. Here it is, in fact. And then that lets us easily search through this for what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and shrink stuff back down. And we are looking for Token of Heroism. Token of Heroism. Great. Oh, that's funny. If it's just going to be off by one. Heroes mark. Of course. Medallion of Moria. Medallion of Moria. And Medallion of Lothlorien. Great. We have what we need from that. We can get rid of that. Coming on in here, we already got the delving writ correct. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and double check that. Where'd it go? Well, I don't know where it went. Great. Yep, it is the same. Okay. So, I'm going to convert those into, those are decimal to hex, prefix with 0x, and get them back in here. As it turns out, those only decrement by 1. Hilarious. But that one changes by more, as does this. Okay, let's go ahead and reload this. Not that one. Let's reload the actual plugin we care about. Great. So we can see here, unfortunately, Tokens of Heroism and Heroes Marks share the same icon. But fortunately, you mostly only care about Tokens of Heroism because they have that cap of 60, with weekly task turn-ins per character. Heroes Marks, on the other hand, has a capacity of 1,000, and it just takes a while to build up that many of them. So, I would expect the general case is to be tracking tokens of heroism, but I figured, why not do both while we're in here? Why not? It's only one more item to this increasingly silly list, but if you come in here and type in hero, you'll get both of them. Okay, so that's those two. Delving Writs. I guess I should double check that these things are getting the right numbers. Delving Writs, great, 305. Medallions of Moria, 449, and 370. Fantastic. Okay, so the basic functionality here is working. If we go ahead and change the back color of a control, we can go ahead and save. Awesome. Let's go ahead and figure out what just happened. Settings. Oh, well, first of all, let's make sure that if we do change back color of this control, that's fascinating. We're just going to unload and reload for a minute. Oh, what just happened? Let's go into plugin data. And this is probably Affadil TitanBar settings. All right, so if we go to Delving Writ, why is it false? That's fascinating. Okay, let's make sure the thing that we thought we could do can be done. No. What on earth? All right. TitanBar does this thing when you're interacting with a control, it populates some global variables, but these aren't being populated. And while I'm not a fan of global variables, I'm even less fan of global variables that aren't working correctly. So let's take a look at this. This is what's... Yeah, we're in background. And we are looking at gift givers brands. So let's take a look at that. TitanBar maintenance, I think we're done with you for a minute. So gift givers brands. And in fact, let's come on into the English for gift givers brands. So this is GGB that we're looking for. Okay. So if it's from GGB, great. If we come up to gift givers brands, GGB, okay. Any place where it seems like it's not being set? Yeah, there we go. That should be from. So we can see That should be from CTR. And why isn't it? Because MC is mithril coin, and at some point someone did a find replace all for MC into their new thing. For instance, ASP. So, MC is what we're looking for. Yep, there we go. From MC control. So we'll just fix these while we're in here. From MC. And I just happened to stumble across it. It would appear because of the Figments of Splendor. Yep, that has it. Gift Givers brands have it from MC. Modes of Enchantment has it. And Stars of Merit has it. So that's a danger when your process involves doing a find replace and you're not checking that case sensitivity where they have to match the uppercase, or even if you are and that happens to be used somewhere else, you run this risk of just breaking something, and worse, breaking something in a way that it's not called out as a syntax error, and it's not even called out as a runtime error most of the time because a lot of people don't even use this functionality. So we have 48. So if we do M, we have 49. So one of them is still wrong. Let's see if we can find it real fast. Okay, not that. From SP. Okay, why am I missing one? Oh, it is 49 results and 48 files. Okay. Why is there a second one in one of these files? EI, equipped info. Okay, that's different and it doesn't matter. Okay, so we have all of them fixed. That's good. Okay, so unload, reload. Yeesh. And then we'll do the simplest thing, which is to say, we're going to get rid of the motes of enchantment for a minute. Don't show that. We're just going to be working with one thing, Gift Givers brands. In fact, why not? Unload, reload. Great. Let's come on in, change the back color of this control. Okay, we're going to change it to, I don't know, something greenish. And we're going to click Save Color, and we're going to get an error. Fantastic. Love finding errors before someone else does. Let's come on in to the code, and we're coming into settings.lua, okay? Settings.lua, line 1473, great sign that we've got too much. Bad argument number 2 to format. Expected nil, fantastic. All right, I'm curious, where else does this exist? Should be populated here, among other things. All right, MOE, BC Alpha, MOE, BC Red, MOE BC green, MOE BC blue equals cur select blue. Yeah. Well, I gotta ask, where is cur select blue set? Okay. Well, let's just do a quick little turbine dot shell right line MOE color stuff, and we're gonna dump in g dot nope MOE alpha. Do we not have a dump? Well, we want a dump function. Let's go grab one. Going into cube plugins, deed tracker, general functions. And we're going to grab that. Okay, where are we going to put that? Just in the main, probably. I don't know. Great. So, let's spit out red. Green and blue. Cool. Let's load this back up, see what we get. All right, change back color, bam, save. Bad argument number 2. Great. All right, so we got 0.3, 0.3, 0.3, nil. What I don't understand is why it's all 0.3 when I obviously... Okay, so the color population doesn't seem to be working right. At some point, we are... All right, equals 0.3. Show me that. All right, alpha, red, green, blue equals that. Sure. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So gift givers brand. Oh wait, MOE color stuff. I should have been. Wait a second. 1, 4, 7, 4. We are looking at that. Okay. Hang on. Let's unload. Come on in to here. Okay, we have this. MOE. Modes of enchantment. Blue is 0.3 in the file. And in fact, I'm guessing we don't have a lot of nil in the file. That is true. So, why is there a pre-existing issue that is not my fault? Let's look into this. Okay, this is going to be a bit larger. Devmite, it's not my fault. Okay, Han Solo. Okay, I'm not sure it was his fault either at that time, so, you know. Look, Duriel told me he fixed it. It's not my fault. Okay, I'm going to just look at each of the places where we're using this and see if there's a typo that makes it make less sense. Alpha, red, green, blue. And actually, let's do a quick search. We have 11 results, and if we do case sensitivity and sentence sensitivity, okay, it's all the same. Cur select blue, MOE, okay. If show hide Set back color, alpha, red, green, blue. Great. From control equals MOE, then RGB equals red, green, blue. Okay. Alpha, red, green, blue, alpha, red, green, blue. That all looks plausible. Alpha, red, green, blue, alpha, red, green, blue. But we're obviously getting a nil with that. And also it's crashing, so that's a good sign. Okay. Oops. Okay, so here, show, and then alpha, red, green, blue, equal, and XY where, equals false, alpha, red, green, blue, XY where. Okay. Oh, man, I really want that to be at least there. Okay. Alpha, red, green, blue, XY where. Okay, locale is English, cool. 333300. Why is the alpha defaulting to 0.3? That's odd to me. But whatever, it's fine. Alright, let's search for exactitude. Okay, all of that looks plausible, and more importantly, identical to everything else. So, control, set back color, alpha, red, green, blue. Back color. Okay. What is going on here? Can we do this to another control? I mean, it would be silly just to not understand this, right? Change back color of this control. Oh, because the whole bar has transparent. Okay, that's fine. Save. Okay, 147 settings. 1474. It does not make sense. Why does it think I've selected something else? It does not like that. Okay. Simpler things. Where do we assign this? This is being set. Okay. We assigned it here. Turbine.shell.writeLine set. Where are we? We're in background.lua update BC variable. Set image2, and we'll dump that out. Okay, and we're going to do something similar to that every time we set this variable until I understand what is going on here. Where are we? We're in background. We're in update BC variable. Yeah, actually update BC variable to all or not to all. Okay, that's fine. We're not we're not setting it, This we are setting. Where are we? We're in functions menu control, BG color. And this is CTR. And then coming on down to this. Hang on a sec. And this is this instead of control. This. And I think it could be here, but I don't know why it would be. Okay, and this is in settings, .lua, reset settings, set that to that. Great. Okay, surely, one of those places is going to trigger, and I'm going to understand why that thing is nil. He said optimistically. So we're going to go ahead and change the back color. Come on into, say, here. Save color. Default. Save color. Black. Save color. Oh wait, of course, because at no point am I actually dealing with most of enchantment, because it's a whole different thing. Let's come on in here and see this. Okay, change the background color of this control. Okay, all that's great. But B in the file was 0.3. So I don't believe for a moment that this is going to fix the problem, because the problem save color, right. I would guess that there is a problem with loading that value from the file, though I'm not sure why. Why is it nil? Every single point where this thing can be set to something, we are logging out. So, something equals blue. Okay. Emily blue equals settings. Let's go to settings. Where are we loading this? That's reset settings. Don't care about that. All right, settings, modes of enchantment. Where is this loaded? In fact, let's go one step further. Where is badge of dishonor doing stuff? Because we're pretty sure that's complete. This is what I want to find. And we are in load settings. And I guess it might be a little silly to go through and verify that we load the settings for every single currency, but I'm in a silly mood. Let's do that. In fact, hang on a second. Okay. Down to bingo badge. Let's go ahead and grab that. And now I have a screenshot of that list that we can cross things off of in MS Paint, for lack of a better thing to do. So I've got this over here. Okay, so people and other designations. Wow, you cannot make this window any smaller. Whoever is in charge of window stuff, or paint and snipper on Windows, if you're watching, you made some decisions I disagree with. For instance, the snipper function used to size itself to the thing that you snipped. Now it doesn't do that. Perhaps consider not breaking that functionality the next time you redesign the window. Thank you. Okay, so Amroth silver pieces. We do that. So we're going to go ahead and use a brush, no, a tool, sure, how about a shape? A line, awesome. Colors, red. Amroth. Silver piece, awesome. Next up, Stars of Merit. Bam. Next up, Central Gondor silver piece. Next up, Gift Giver brand. So around here somewhere, there we are. Next, Bingo badge. Next, Anniversary token. Next, Motes of Enchantment. So we do have MOE. Awesome. Alpha equals A. Red equals R. Green. Aha! Well, I think we can stop right there. I don't know if this is a copy-paste error or what, but we can see that the MOE BC Blue never got populated. Yeah, okay. I probably should have looked at that first. Sometimes I just gotta go through the hard way. Okay, now what we should probably do is just give a glance at these horrifically copy-pasted variables and make sure they do look pretty reasonable. So, alpha, they should all be the same length before. So alpha, red, green, and blue should all start at the same point. Great. Okay, so let's go ahead and unload this, load it back in. And change the background color of this. It works. I'm going to be especially embarrassed if I'm the one who introduced that while I was editing here, but maybe it was someone else. We'll see. Okay, so coming back in here, let's go ahead and remove the Gift Giver's brands, and instead we'll go ahead and put Delving Writ and Token of Heroism and Delving Writ, Token of Heroism, Heroes Marks, Medallion of Moria, and Medallion of Lothlorien. Great. And you know what? That's my Motes of Enchantment. I've stopped caring about those. Don't you? Cool. So, let's go ahead and unload. Let's go ahead and load. Convince ourselves that that works. Great. So, let's start changing background color. Green-ish. Change background color. Red-ish. Really? Change background color. Blue-ish. Change background color. Greenish. and change background color more whitish. Great. We can also apply to all elements. Save. Great. We can also default. Save. Awesome. Set it to black. Set it to transparent. And back to default. Transparent's an interesting idea. I'm going to actually try that out at some point. I like the unobtrusiveness of it. Okay. So, basic functionality of these things is working okay. Apply TitanBar color. Okay, we need to, first of all, apply that. And then, so, we need to apply TitanBar to this, apply to this, none of that. Oh, that's funny. Apply to this, that's a visual glitch, but that's not because of what I was doing. Apply TitanBar to all control. We're just going to reload. It changed its color when I was doing our preview, but when I closed the window, it didn't snap back to where it was. So that's actually acceptable. I mean, it's a bug, but reset back color of this control. Reset back color of this control. This control. This control. This control. Reset all control. Reset all control and TitanBar. Great. Apply this back color to. Alright, so let's change the back color to something. Maybe pull up the alpha a bit. Great. Apply this to all TitanBar. Apply this to all control. And then TitanBar, set the back color to blue. Great. Apply this to all control and TitanBar. Great. Loldrick says, are you maintaining Titan Panel or just add-ons to it? Not really either. I'm going to be publishing a patch to TitanBar that contains these 5 additional currencies plus whatever things I've discovered today that are bug fixes and not just me having broken it in the first place. So, Duriel, in theory, is maintaining TitanBar, though I don't think they've released an update to TitanBar recently. So it could be something that I or others take on in the near future. But for now, I'm just aiming to make it so people can track their delving writs, tokens of heroism, heroes marks, medallions of Moria, or medallions of Lothlorien, in addition to what it could already do. Excuse me. Okay. Finally, we can unload this control, unload this control, unload this control, unload this control, and unload this control. However, does that persist? It does. So, we're going to go ahead and actually reset the back color of all control, although that's only all loaded control, I think. And then bring stuff back on. So I also want to test the tooltip functionality. So Delving's Writ, we're going to show in tooltip up there. Tokens of Heroism in tooltip, Heroes Marks in tooltip, Medallion of Moria in tooltip, and Medallion of Lothlorien in tooltip. And we can see all 5 of them are there, which is great. And another place where the Heroes Marks and the Tokens of Heroisms conflicting with the same image ID makes me a little sad. And we don't have to use that same image ID. If there were a different one, or if we wanted to make our own, making our own is actually kind of tempting. If only to provide some variation. So I'm going to use the snipping tool, and I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to draw a rectangle, and give me a 3-second delay in order to get this. I thought I said rectangle. I did not. I turned off rectangle. How embarrassing. Well, give me a 3-second delay anyway. Is that good? That window has some transparency to it, which I'm not a fan of for this purpose. So instead, let's do Token of Heroism. We're going to put that on the TitanBar. We're going to come in and change its background color to be 100% black. black? Yeah, that's probably the best choice. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and do the snip. Is that the right number of pixels? Hang on. Height. That is a concern. If I were really dedicated, I would use a resource extractor to pull that ID out. But I think this will have to do. Okay, good. It's over a black background. So we're going to go ahead and copy that and take a look. The real question is then, what on earth do I do with it? To distinguish tokens of heroism and heroes marks. Let's take a look at this thing. All right, that is a 28 by 27 icon. Did we do that intentionally? Well, that's a good question. Let's come on into the wallet tooltip. Is it wallet tooltip? All right, TT icon, what are you? Okay, so we're trying to set the size to 32 by 32. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so what do we do with this to show that it is all of them, not just... sorry, it's the barter currency. And how do we do it in a language-independent way? Because we have delving writs, we have tokens of heroism. Now, if we just put a /60 on top of it, it would work for the delving, it would work for the token of heroism, because that has a capacity of 60. So, like, if we just wrote in big, bold letters, out of 60 or something, like, that looks terrible, but it would be distinctive. Kind of reluctant to do that on the one that I'm going to be looking at a lot compared to the one that I would probably almost never use. Like, it's only if you had both of these that you would even care. Color difference? Like if we had a red ring about it or something? Blue? I don't know. I mean, the problem is we don't know what background people are going to have, and that could be a thing. All right, let's be very silly. Nildrick wonders, star for tier 1, star for tier 2. I see where you're going with that. My concern is, of the two of these, tokens of heroism and heroes marks, I would track tokens of heroism, and I would prefer its icon to not be sullied. And I would probably almost never track heroes marks, and therefore I'm willing to do just about anything to its icon. But I would prefer not to do something to both icons, if that makes sense. I'd love to just link to the tokens of heroism icon for tokens of heroism, and then copy that icon out and do something to it for the heroes marks. But again, language agnostic. So if we were to like put 1,000 here as an indication of its capacity, I could tolerate that. In fact, I'm going to tolerate that for right now as a starting point. Okay, so documents, Lord of the Rings Online, plugins, have no plugins, TitanBar, resources, and this is going to be here. This is going to be heroes marks alternate icon. We're going to go ahead and export that. And we're also going to save this. Documents, Lord of the Rings Online, plugins, have no plugins, TitanBar. No, we're not actually going to save that there. I don't know. Probably just my downloads directory or something. Cool. So let's play with that. So we have TitanBar. We're going to go into resources, and we're going to load this icon. We do therefore need to remember how to load an icon. Resources. So, nope, not like that. Apparently, we can just do app res. There we go. Okay. So it's going to be something like app res dot this, and that's going to be the heroes marks icon equals that, comma. Let's give that a shot. Okay, so we're going to come in here. It definitely didn't work because we can see that icon is failing there. Icon equals. Okay. I think it's reasonable to say picker equals. So that's going to set background. I don't think we can do that. Therefore, how do we load the icon? When I can't remember this, let's search for icon. Plugin TitanBar resources. Plugin TitanBar resources. Okay, well, let's humor myself. Let's come on into heroes marks and put it on there. Oh, okay. So yes. That's fine, except for the size is off. And here's marks in tooltip. It doesn't like that. Okay, so let's come on into there and just make it a 32 by 32 just for ease of use. Open recent. There we go. And that's why we save these things. Okay, so image, canvas size 32 by 32. And we're just going to go ahead and center this thing. Great. Now we're going to go ahead and export as documents, Lord of the Rings Online, plugins, have no plugins, TitanBar resources. That's the one. Okay, Heroes Mark on TitanBar. No. Forgot to actually hit export. Sorry about that. Stepped on my cord. Okay, so the icon there is fixed. The icon here is fixed. No, it's just not trying to be there. Noldrick says, I'm awake now. Yeah, that was my bad. But hey, at least the cord didn't rip out of the mic, so that's nice. In tooltip. Okay, so the way that we're doing the tooltip is wonky. Alright, so we are doing a for each, right? Yes. Jesus. I am not a fan of that. Okay, that being said, okay, we are iterating through everything and then checking to see what it is. Or OTP cur equals, and just trying to ignore this. M, and then we're doing heroes marks because we're not a numeric. There we go. Okay, so that gives us a blazingly obvious difference between tokens of heroism and heroes marks. Should you ever be tracking them both, I don't recommend it, but you know, you have the option. So that's what it's like to add a currency, or in this case 5 currencies to TitanBar. Is first you do all of that repetitive work, and then you go through and you test all the functionalities of these things. And you just got to remember that when you right click on it, you can do these things like changing the background. You can also apply this to other controls. You can reset the background of this control. You can apply, you can apply TitanBar to this. You can apply this to TitanBar or other controls. And you can unload this control or all controls. Why not? And those are things that you can do with a currency. And if you can't do all of those things, then something has gone wrong. And if you hit unload all, it saves that. Okay, and now we have a thing. Nope, don't press side scroll. Alright, we're going to go ahead and save that. What do we have here? We have a wallet.lua of all things. Okay, going to line 48. Reset tooltip. No. Line 36. Attempt to compare. Why? If we get width plus mouse X. Okay, we have local mouse X and Y. Screen width. Okay. Where is screen width set? I bet it's somewhere not good. Interesting. No? we do set it there. At least it's replicatable. Okay. Then that equals get width minus 10. Okay. Turbine dot shell dot right line. Wallet stuff. And that is going to be mouse x dump mouse x screen width dump screen width. Yeah, pretty much. That player entity here is an annoyance. I don't like it. Okay, so attempt to get length of global menu item and nobody. Okay. That's interesting. Wallet tooltip. Line 39. Attempts to get that. But why would that be bad? I mean, we are... That's interesting. Okay. That is I think that is a bug that is not adjacent to anything I'm doing. Lodrick says, dumb question. I don't think so. Is there a Lua version for plugins, or can we use the latest version? Yes. That is. I think that is completely opposite of a dumb question. It is an undumb question. So, the version of Lua embedded in LOTRO is a sandboxed version of Lua 5.1. If you try to use features that were introduced or modified after 5.1, you can expect them not to work. However, not all features in 5.1 work either. Nothing that's talking about reading or writing arbitrary files on the hard drive, or I don't know if Lua lets you open up network connections or something like that, but you can't do that. So this is a sandbox constrained version of Lua 5.1. There might even be a way to split out a version. Lua print version. Sure, let's give it a try. Let's go to main. Turbine.shell.writeLine version. Yep, you can see Lua 5.1. So, that's going to be, I would expect that to be similar for other places where Lua is used as a plugin language, is that when they build the product, possibly a game, maybe something else, they are putting something in there that is the Lua, it's what your Lua code talks to. And so they're having to choose a version and embed it in their product, and then your script is loaded by that. Yeah. And so I would expect any embedded version of Lua to kind of be constrained to that, where they have to explicitly go in and change it. Otherwise, it just sits at that version for however long. And a problem with changing it is it could break existing scripts. It could change how the embedded thing is interacting with the rest of the product. And a problem with not updating it is then you don't have the newest features. So whether a product will or will not move to newer versions of that embedded script language, Lua or something else, is kind of going to be dependent on that corporate culture, how much time and attention they had to spend on add-ins. If add-ins are a super important part of the product, they're Yeah, I mean, it only gets worse because now you risk breaking more things or disturbing more plugin authors versus having the newest features. So glad I don't have to be in charge of that decision. But that's where we are, Lua 5.1. And you can spit that out just doing a write line or using the underscore version. Although in this case, that's just going to basic.lua. That's fascinating. So that could be a misnomer because that could be... No. It knows that that's for this environment, but once LOTRO is looking at it, it's going to be interpreting that correctly. Okay. I feel good about that. So that is that. Okay. So, I have accomplished the adding of the currencies that I wanted to do. So now the question is, can I release a patch in the time I have left? Which is minus 1 minute and counting. Well, let's play around with this a little bit. First of all, I still have the zip file that I downloaded earlier, which is what I am basing these changes off of. So I'm going to re-extract those, and then we're going to get a comparison. And then we're going to see all those log statements that I forgot to clean up and start cleaning them up. So let's come on out to Habna Plugins, and we're going to go ahead and do a comparison. So the original version is on the left, the modified versions are on the right. So this is a file comparison tool. This is a file comparison tool called Beyond Compare. And like I'm sure other file comparison tools, it will give the ability to screen out all the files that are identical, which we will now do. Then we can go through and deduce what changes of these we want to keep. We're going to start at the top. This is a bug fix. Awesome. This is a bug fix. This is a new file for Delving Writ. But, it doesn't hurt to make sure that one change is in here. So where was that? That was line 74. Line 74-ish. What function was that in? Click. Okay. From control. Great. From control. Okay. Click from control. Click from control. Now we saw it working, so in theory all of these are going to be okay. But it's an easy copy-paste thing to happen. Where is click from control? Great. Okay. Also from control, and token of heroism. Click from control. Okay. Next up. A log statement. We'll just get rid of that. Okay, what do we have? That is a fix for the updated icon. Awesome. And then some other stuff up above. That looks great. Okay, added stuff. Okay, locales. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do these all look plausibly done? Sure. That's English and stuff and things. Okay. In the resources, we have the updated heroes marks. Then we go into background, updated stuff. Oh, we have another turbine log line stuff. This one also was a log statement. There we go. I do care about minor stuff. I do. Okay, and then do not need random changes slipping in. I'm a spaces person, not a tabs person, but overall I'm a consistency person. So I'm noticing here that these are starting off with a tab. Not. Am I though? How much do I care about this? I don't actually care that much right now. But if I really did care, for consistency's sake, I would be looking at doing all these tabs. But honestly, I kind of feel like it should all go to spaces anyway, so I'm not going to worry about it for right now. Okay, so those are all there. Awesome. So next, actually, yeah, okay. So we have, again, another line that was changed unnecessarily, and then we have stuff and stuff. Looks great. Format options, stuff. Functions, stuff 1. Stuff 2. Stuff 3 and 4. Stuff 5. Awesome. Lildrick says, spaces, not tabs. I appreciate that you are correct. Okay, we have stuff. We have, oh, a bug fix, nice. You know, let's double check that. Show mithril coins. Okay, awesome. There's lots of those. If we just show mithril, there's now no more of that. Great. And stuff. Next up, we added these functions. Great. Next up, we added 1, 2, 3. Oh, we have an output line. Another output line. And this. This is why I like to review things before committing them or pushing them out or whatever. Okay, next up, main. We do not need our dump function anymore. Take it out. In here, we did this. Wallet order is, in fact, I don't think used anywhere, but that's okay. We have added these. Okay, this was a bug fix. This is our new sections. And one of those does not need to be. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. In here we have a debug statement. Gone. Okay, so this I was changing for reading comprehension, but I'm not a big fan of changing things if I don't have to. So we're going to go ahead and remove the white space for now. There we go. And we can see that nothing changed there. And that's the key thing, is having confidence that when you look at it, you know what has changed and what hasn't. And redoing the white space like that would make us think, okay, is it just the white space or is it something more than that? Okay, we have a couple of output lines. We have tab turned into spaces, and 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4 different sections plus a bug fix. Awesome. Should probably be writing down what's changed, but we'll get there. Okay. I don't actually care about that diagnostic line, and I don't want to impose my development environment on someone else, but we can make that go away. And just a matter of taste, it is optional to have your final item in Lua followed by a comma, just do it. It makes, if you copy and paste to the next line, you're not suddenly missing a comma now. It's fine. It's not an error to do it anyway. Okay. Nifty, nifty, nifty. And this is just a typo. It gets, not it get, is me. Okay. So, now that we're happy with that, let's go ahead and see if there's a version history. Nope. Change log. There we go. I say change log. I don't think that's the right place for it. We're going to do it into a text file. Patch notes. Okay, so fixed the ability for a few current fixed changing the background color for a few currencies. So this is under bug fixes. And that was Amroth, Silver Piece, Central Gondor, Silver Piece, Embers of Enchantment, Fragrance of Splendor, Gift Givers, Brand, Modes of Enchantment, Stars of Merit, Wallet Tooltip. Wait, that can't be right. Those are different. Yep, that is in fact not it. Okay. And wallet window. That's not it. Cool. So, yes, new, yes. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. New currencies added. Delving Rant, token of him. Here's Mark's Medallion, Memoria, Medallion. Okay. That is all of this. Locale. No changes. What's going on with that? Okay. Background. It is just those 5. Great. It is just those 5. It is just those 5. Just those 5. Bug fixes. Fixed. Mithril coins. Fixed. Place where... when is update currency called? That's part of my problem. Update currency. Okay, this is that, and load player wallet. Issue where values Coins would not be updated when loading player's wallet. Is that even a thing though? Because, hang on. What did Mytho Coins? Wait, update Mytho is a thing. Hang on. No, show Mytho Coins. Okay. Well, that's good. Still. What does update Mytho do? Interesting. Okay, so did that just not work? I gotta fix that player attribute thing before we're done here. Mytho Coin show on bar. Cool. Mytho Coins aren't in the wallet. So what is that even doing? Get currency, LMMC. Okay. Get currency. Player currency. We set it to nothing. Player currency equals that. Maybe Mythic Coins are there. But how did it work? Was it being called some other way? No, I don't know why it's not, or I don't know why it was working. Mythic Coins. It's not even a bug fix. I don't know how it was working. M16 says, hi, still grinding. Getting close to done. The main code is there. I'm just trying to summarize what changes I've made in textual form. Mythic Coins fixed typo in a variable name. That's it. Behavior doesn't seem different though. Yeah, like I'm just not even gonna, it does not seem helpful. Where was that? Was that in functions? Functions control? Uncertain. Oh, of course. Because I undid it. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't seem to actually fix anything, so it's fine. Okay, we just have those 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Next. Wallet order, and those. Next. Bug fixes. Fixed bug. Fixed bug when loading Motes of enchantment background color. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those and those. We have these 5. And just a little bug fix. Okay, so that's really it. And misspelling bug is sad. Okay, so that's the patch notes to include somewhere. And that's pretty much it. These would be the files I would want to make sure that I bring along in the patch, and only these files. If people have made other patches that deal with other files, we don't want to interfere with that. For instance, the CalcStat plugin that we saw. Let's go take a look at that. The CalcStat plugin here, if we go ahead and download this, I'll go ahead and extract it on the other screen. We can see in theirs, they have updated functions, TB resources, so that is actually a problem as far as compatibility. But let's take a look and see what they did. All right, plugin compendium. Oh, they added some dependencies. All right. And show no orphans. So functions. They did some stuff in functions. Did I do stuff in functions? I did. Okay. So these patches are not compatible, but they've already signed off on this being included in other people's patches. So I would probably roll those together. Player icon code, looks like they just did some spacing out. That's nice. Yeah, I appreciate that they did that. The monster icon code, they deleted it. I'm not sure I understand why they did that. They have just included it in player icon code. Yeah, fair enough. And chicken. Patch by... Okay. And what else do they have? Locale. Of course, they changed the locale stuff. Values in yellow account. Nice. And player info tooltip. That one is not. Okay. So, I have some work cut out for me if I want to roll that together, but I think that's a reasonable thing to do because ultimately we'd like to see these all rolled back into the main TitanBar branch, and the fewer differences there are between different patches, the easier it is for whoever is maintaining the core TitanBar to do that. If they can just take the most recent patch because it includes everything else, all the better. So, I'm not going to release this patch that we've put together here right now because I'm going to look at combining it together with the CalcStats patch. And while I'm at it, probably take a look at the Motes and Ember in German client patch, also by Giselda. Well, nice. They're doing a lot of stuff. So once that's all together, and once this kind of summarizes the latest and greatest in updates to TitanBar since the last release, then it'll go out and people will be able to add these 5 currencies onto their TitanBar. So maybe that'll happen before next week. If not, we'll be working on this next week, and then we'll get this out there. We'll see how free time happens in the meantime. So we are rapidly approaching the end of the stream. If you had any last-minute questions, comments, or concerns, and can type fast, now's a great time to get it out there. Otherwise, we will pick up on it next week. Let me see what else we have here. I've opened up a number of things here. I'm going to be shutting these down while anyone who wants to has a chance to type something into chat. So many things. Let's go ahead and save this somewhere. Probably just in my downloads file for right now. TitanBar new currencies patch notes. Awesome. One less window to stay open. And that's really it. Oh, the player ATT thing. Okay. Player ATT. So the problem, for any of those who are curious, is that player ATT is used at places where it may not have been declared. Oh, hey, in chat. I did transfer my character to Glamdring a couple of days ago. My character was locked for a while, but now when I look, my character is still on my old server, and I can't see anything about the status of the transfer. Can someone help me? So, prefixing this with I don't work for SSG, and I have no inside information about things. If you have received an email saying your transfer is complete, and you are in that state, then I forget what the advice is. You can find more up-to-date information on probably the forums and definitely in the Discord server that Little Redhead has provided a link for there in chat. And people will be more up-to-date. If you have not received an email confirmation, I would just pause for a moment until you receive that, because you are in some indeterminate state. If you have received an email, but the transfer appears to have not gone through, then you may be one of those unlucky people who, when the transfer service was too full, perhaps your transfer just got canceled for some reason. So Little Redhead says, check the pinned messages in the 64-bit chat channel. They'll have some information. My instinct, having not read those recently, would be if you got the email and you see the character on the old server, just give it another try. They're continuing to make improvements to the process, but I think it's a great idea to check what they have said in that Discord channel and probably on the forums as well, to give players guidance on what's going on. It's a bit of a chaotic time. I don't know if they underestimated how many people would be interested in transferring right off the bat, but a lot of people did want to transfer right off the bat, and so it has really stress-tested their server transfer tool in a way that I'm not sure ever has been, because one of the large reasons they've had for an exodus from a server was for servers like Anor that had low population, so kind of definitionally, there weren't that many people lined up to transfer off of there. Or Ithel, I guess I should say. Awesome. Yeah, Little Redhead says, I think the tool has only been used for hundreds at a time and probably never thousands or tens of thousands before. Nildrick says there's lots of info to check on the pins. Mama Panic says, that is why I decided to wait for a couple of months after saying hiya. Hello. Sorry about caps. I mean, it's a good part to emphasize. You chose well. Yeah, I haven't felt a particular rush, but I appreciate those people who were concerned about the quote-unquote land grab when it comes to getting specific houses in specific neighborhoods, that they really wanted to be at the vanguard of that process. And now that LOTRO, Standing Stone Games, SSG, has realized that was a driving force between so much mass panic, and said, oh, okay, we'll just turn off housing until a future time, until these transfers get through. That I think for a lot of people relieved the pressure where they didn't have to rush in order to be able to do this. And by relieving that pressure and by making technological improvements behind the scenes, the process seems to be going better now than it was going on Wednesday of last week, Tuesday of last week, when this whole thing was supposed to start. Noldrick points out that lots of people are saying lots of things on Discord. There are admins and mods have different colors and symbols next to their names, so you can tell when information is more likely to be correct and authoritative than when just anyone is. Something I'll do, just because there's so much chat happening on the servers, because they're so new and there's a lot of people interested, I will just search for specific people like Cordovan or Severland, and I will just read up on what they have said as a shorthand for all of the conversation. It's kind of the equivalent of the whatever, on the forums, there's a follow the devs link. It's kind of like that, only in Discord. Nolric says, did I get red name? I'm not sure which colors are which, actually. Is red a mod? I am not a mod on there. I'm just a normal person. I am kind of curious now.
I think streamers are red.
Who am I? Yeah, I guess my name is Red. Cool.
Content creators, streamers.
I'm a content creator. I know people. They sorted me out. Awesome. So yes, player attribute is a variable that's used in a lot of different places, but it's only assigned, here we'll do dot equals, it's only assigned in a couple of places, and always within a function, like when you are loading the money control, and when it is not, when it is being shown in some place, then assign the player attribute value. Do it here, do it here. And that's just distressing. I don't like that. So we're going to come into player equals, and right after that, we're going to go ahead and say player attribute equals player get attributes. And then in each of these places where we say player equals get attributes, we're going to just kill it. And is that even used? It is used, but we don't need it. Oh, we player at. Okay, and player at equals, we don't need that. Great. Okay, so having done that and having saved all those files, if we unload and reload TitanBar, having only the wallet control and no other controls, hovering over this now doesn't have an exception. So I guess we should add that to the bug list. Bugs. Fixed inconsistent initialization of player at variable. Great. Okay. R says, I can see now that I did not get any email about the transfer. But when I did the transfer, my account was locked. So, I would, but now you can play on your character on my old server. I would resist the urge to interact with any characters that you started a transfer process on until you get that email saying, we are done mucking about with that character. That's not what they'll say in the email, but that's what the email means, is they think that they are done making changes to it. Playing on other servers, playing with other characters that aren't part of the transfer, those feel like much safer things to do than playing with a character that you told them to do something with and they haven't said, okay, hands off, we are done. And I know that's frustrating because some people are reporting 2 or even 3 days before they're seeing that email come in. So I guess if it's been longer than that, like if you did this last Tuesday and you still haven't received an email and everything seems reset, that's one thing. I don't remember if you said a couple of days ago. I would encourage you to have more patience than you feel like you do right now, and give it another day, or play other characters or play on other servers. Because the last thing you want to do is go play for an hour or two on your character and then be forcibly logged off when they finally do their thing and you have lost that progress because of something. That would be a sad state of affairs. So that would be my caution to you. But you know, you are in command of your own fate to a limited degree. So you know, sterkta. Okay. I think I and my goose here in Klager are done with all of that for today. I want to thank you very much, everyone who's contributed in chat with questions or comments. Ark says, all right, thanks for the help. I will wait for a couple of days more or start a new character on the other server in the meantime. Yeah, I feel like if you haven't maximized your Universal Ingredient Pack production line, where you just have like 10 characters standing in front of those boxes where you can log in and out each day, you have some room to grow. Universal, I have just over 32,000 of them, and I could use a few more. No, I really can't, but hard to resist. Okay, I am going to go get something to eat, I think. So, that's everything we're going to cover today. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration of LOTRO plugins. I hope to see you all here next week. And until then, keep plugging along. All right, bye-bye then.